with three little words.
What are we talking about?
We,
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
we the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to We the People podcast. I know it's been a long time, but I got a baby. Right now, if she's not in the camera view, she will be soon enough, probably because she's all over me. And I used to be able to do this when she took naps, and she doesn't take naps anymore. A 1-year-old who just gave up on naps. So, I've been a little busy. And obviously, that's my number one priority is being a father because that's my main thing. You know what I mean? But boy, oh boy, has a lot happened. And there's a lot to speak on. And some of it's going to be old, and you're going to already hear massive takes from a bunch of other people already. But you haven't heard it from me yet. So I'm going to start with Ice and Don Lemon shit. Don Lemon got arrested for barging into a church. Now this is what the left does, right? Because they're going to make it a thing where it's like the freedom of speech is being attacked, journalism is being attacked. That's what they do. The left always take these issues and turn it into something that it isn't, and they try to use the Constitution against the right, who are more constitutionalist than the left will ever be. But this is the game that they play. It has nothing to do with journalism or freedom of speech, and I think most people understand that. You're not allowed to barge into a church in general, let alone during a mass, like during a service. Kids were crying, like there was families in there. That is so disrespectful, and damn well he would never do that to a mosque, ever. It's just the attack on Christianity. It's okay to be disrespectful to Christians and the religion in general. He even went as far as, even after the fact, calling them white supremacists, the people that went there, just because they were Christians, white Christians, even though there wasn't all white people sitting in the crowd. I believe I seen an Asian woman in the one family where the kid was crying. But regardless, it has nothing to do with freedom of speech or journalism. It has to do with his actions. His actions is why he got arrested. He was actively being part of the activism and being part of the protest. It's not like they ran in there and then he comes to report on it. He was actively part of it before it even happened, and was talking with these people and what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. And then he disrespectfully is questioning the pastor, the preacher, the priest. I don't know what the fuck he was. Even as he was telling him, you got to go, like you have to leave, like please leave. It's just normal Don Lemon race space fucking leftist nonsense that never made any sense. So it has nothing to do with the attack on freedom of speech. That is absolute nonsense. We know that the right can be corny about some things, but this one isn't it. Okay. He absolutely deserves any kind of criminal charges that he's going to get. It only makes sense, and it's only right, because we can't start this process. I wouldn't even, like, as much as I say he would never walk into a mosque, I wouldn't want him to walk into a mosque. If he was like, here, I'll do that right now. It's like, I don't want you to do that, because you can't do that. That's like that is a rule, and you just can't do it, right? Let's see. Oh boy, it's gonna be a nightmare. So that's that when it comes to that. But it was anti-ICE protests. So it's anti-ICE stuff. Here's how I feel about ICE. Okay. Well, we all have seen the clips at this point about Obama. It has way more deportations. ICE was still around under Obama. CNN went on like a ride along with them. Nobody minded it. And even if it was ever brought up, they respected it and agreed with it, right? When it comes to the left. Because things only matter to them when someone on the right does it. Especially Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has broken so many goddamn people. It's crazy. So it has nothing to do with them being Nazis or terrorists. That is white supremacists. That is something that they were just saying to justify what they're doing. Protests all across the country. It's so here's how I feel about the shootings and stuff. One, my entire life, right? And whoever's listening to this, you too. I can confidently say that everybody hearing my voice or seeing this right now, we all known our entire life, you do not attack police officers. You do not fight back against police officers. So now the people that are saying, this, that, when it comes down to the ICE and all that, there's even people on the right now talking shit because, the groypers and all that. And I'm going to get into that. I'm not saying like groyper as in like there's a certain section. There's even like a certain section of the groypers now. Like it's just like they swear they're in their own lane, but they are. It's just the people who are against absolutely everything now. Who started out as MAGA or supporters of Trump or Republicans. Now like their thing is just to be against absolutely everything. It's just like their whole thing, and I swear that they're cool because they're not like anybody else. I'm not part of any group. No, but you are, because you're part of that group now that literally complains about everything or talks shit about everything. And when something good happens, or all of a sudden like your whole view of everything is absolutely changed because nothing's absolutely perfect or how you wanted it to be. You're clowns. I'm so tired of seeing this shit. So these people that even used to respect police and they would be the ones that like would share the videos of the police officer shooting a black man, because obviously that was all nonsense. Like most of those stories, that black man wasn't actually not doing anything wrong. He was fighting against the police or trying to take his gun or whatever. Leslie, stop. Come on, mama, please. So that like those people that agree that the officer was in the right in most of these situations, even when it comes to George Floyd and stuff like that. Now they're like also speaking out against ICE or ignoring the fact that ICE has just been trying to do their jobs and people have been attacking them well before people even got shot. There's plenty of videos of ICE officers getting pushed back against being obstructed when they're trying to just arrest somebody, or shit getting thrown at them, and that's what's happening way before any of the shootings happening. So it's not like they just like randomly started getting aggressive. No, they started getting the aggression first and then they respond. So now we got people that are just saying that like they're going to use this, they're going to start going against us now. Like this is actually people on the right saying this now, or people that were leaning more right now saying that. It's like, bro, like you were the one that was over here trying to justify shootings when they went against the black people, and I agree with it too. But now, so it's like, was it just because it was a black person, or have you always been against law enforcement? Because you were trying to stand up for law enforcement, and then all of a sudden, when this happens, even though there's clear aggression first, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're gonna use this technology to track an illegal. Blah, blah, blah. It's way more. It's like, dude, no, again. Let me finish my statement before I continue on. My entire life, your entire life, your friend's entire life, your mom and dad's entire life, everybody's entire fucking life, we knew and known and still know, but we're pretending like we don't. You don't fight back against police officers. You've known that your entire life. I've known that my entire life. That's a big no-no. And I grew up hating the police and doing the stop snitching shit. Fuck the police. I was all that too, right? But even then, when I was like that and hanging out with the people that also felt like that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So even then, we all knew you don't fight the police because you will either get arrested or shot. At the very least, you'll get arrested. So this whole, Renee Good stuff, we got a kid, we just dropped our kid off at school. You don't, and I'm so tired of here. She was a mother. Blah, blah, blah. She clearly doesn't care about her kid if her plan was to drop her son off at school and then go obstruct federal agents from doing their job, trying to stop and arrest from jumping in the way of federal agents. Because that's what she was doing. She's blocking traffic. Alex Pretty. He was blocking cars. They show the video from a week prior or whatever, 11 days prior, where he, kicked out a light and spit at federal agents, which is assault. You spit on somebody, that's assault. So, and people were like, what does that have to do with his murder? Well, listen, it just proves that he wasn't just there holding up signs and protesting. Hey, relax. Protesting isn't the problem. It's when you start getting violent and pushing against the police and trying to stop them from doing their job. You are not allowed to do that. We've all have known that forever. Stop acting like you haven't. So I support ICE. Some of them are a little aggressive, sure, and I get it. Just like there's always cops that are a little too much. But the vast majority are just trying to do their fucking jobs. And Minnesota's governor, mayor, they're all just literally telling people to push back against these federal agents. You know you're not supposed to push back against regular police, let alone federal agents. That's what I'm saying, right? So that's how I feel about ICE. I think it's all justified, even though they ruled Alex Pretty and homicide. I think this is going to come down to absolutely nothing. I don't think it's going to end up being anything. I think it might be something to say to get who knows. But now like there's just protests all over. A bunch of fucking losers who have nothing better to do besides protest all day. But that's typical left wing shit. Right wing don't do that. Right? We had J6 that was fucking 6 years ago at this point, or 5 years ago at this point. 5 years ago at this point, because like we would have to plan something like that out, and it'll be like once in a while because we like work and have kids that we take care of. Right. J6 5 years ago, right? So like all this other shit with the protests and now like it's all just based off of nonsense. First off, they're calling ICE Nazis and shit. The two guys that shot Alex Pretty were Spanish. So Spanish lives matter, right? Like that. The whole fight is, it's because they're brown or because they're not white, and it's just even though like people from all over are being deported and being caught by ICE, but we only focus on the Spanish, Latino, whatever, because it's just another way to call Trump racist, because it all goes back to Trump, even though ICE is not a Trump thing. It's been there. So, but the Hispanics matter. They all matter unless they don't agree with the narrative, right? So first off, the ICE agents are more diverse than the protests for anti-ICE protests. They're more diverse than the protests. They're mostly white liberals. Meanwhile, the ICE agents are black, Hispanic, and all the above. So the two that shot Alex Pretty were not white. So that blows a hole through the Nazi white supremacist narrative, which we already knew was nonsense. Anybody with common sense knows it's nonsense. Most people that listen to this are going to know it's nonsense. But of course, there's so many people out there that don't know that's nonsense, because the fact, like, anybody can be Nazis these days. It's so fucking pathetic and ridiculous. So that's that when it comes down to that. And I know that's already been, I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but I personally, when I first see these things, I'm like, damn, man, they gotta relax. Maybe it shouldn't be so great. But then it's like, you know what? No, all the shit that they've gone through this entire time that led up to this, plus this happening, like, it's not like if they were literally just standing on the side of the road protesting with signs and stuff like that, then I'd be like, okay, come on, guys, what the fuck? If you are pushing against the police, fighting with the police, spitting on police, blocking their way and blocking traffic so they can't get to where they need to arrest people, you are breaking laws, and you could very likely get shot or go to jail. So I don't want to hear his mother, the father, he was this, he was that. They obviously didn't care that much about their kids or the profession if they were willing to, at the very least, get locked up for a long time, right? The very least. So that's it. I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, we're gonna continue on here. What else? And it's so pathetic, right? Like, schools are now doing anti-ICE protests. I don't know if it's teachers doing it. If it's teachers starting these, it's a real fucking problem. If the kids are starting it, it's still kind of corny that teachers are allowing it to happen. But like my area, North Penn, no, I'm in Happer Horsham, but North Penn is like the neighboring district. They had a walkout. Phoenixville had a walk. Everybody's had one. Just protests all the time in Philly. Like, you fucking losers. You fucking losers. Like, my kid will not be part of any of that. And if it was, I'd come at the teachers and I'd fucking tell my kids, you better chill the fuck out. I'm not doing that. Okay. There's got to be some adults in the goddamn room here. All right, but let me move on now. So I'm going to move on to what else we got going on here. I made a list of things and I completely just left it over there. Josh Shapiro, my governor, has been really vocal about shit. He's fucking corny. Okay, well, let me move on to the the Greenland stuff and all. Like, I think Trump. Okay, so here's the thing. I think there's a lot of things to say that could, to criticize about Trump, and I'm okay with criticizing Trump. I'm not one of those guys that like won't criticize him. Like, I'll criticize anybody, even if I absolutely love them, and I still support Trump. I think his geopolitics is like no other. I think, the strategic, not really understanding what the Greenland thing was about, now seeing that is very strategic and very smart of him. Come on, mama. You getting down? I think it was very smart of him to do, and clearly it worked out. And I don't know what the issue is here. I feel like, let me get on to the right wing stuff, because / Epstein, obviously we're going to talk about that. We wanted a strong leader. You should want a strong leader as president. The fact that he goes over to the UN and all these places and goes to these summits and fucking and Davos and shit, and he tells these world leaders right to their fucking face how it is. Start paying up your own shit. We're not going to be paying for everybody's shit. We're not like, you should be happy about that. But people hate Trump so much that it doesn't matter that he's literally making us a world power. He's making us strong again in the eyes of world leaders. We were laughed at with Biden. Stop. Like, I want a president who's strong. I want someone who's going to tell it like it is. Sure, some of the things that he says is not fucking great and it's not for everybody, but I personally don't care, but I can see why. But let's be realistic here. His foreign policy and the geopolitical shit is perfect. It is awesome. He has people respecting us. He's doing things without starting war. So this is the Groyper, I'm against everything right now, / libertarian, whatever they were. They were right. They supported Trump until they didn't get absolutely everything that they wanted. You're never going to be absolutely 100% happy with any president at all, ever. Okay. So you people out there constantly fucking complaining about Trump, and now you're talking shit about the whole MAGA base and shit. Like, fuck you. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of like, oh man, I want no new wars. Blah, blah. He's going down to Venezuela, getting Maduro and doing all this and doing that. Listen, there's no new wars started. What? Get it. There's no new war started. Like, so why are you bitch? Like, I understand. I don't want no new war started either, right? I like that. That was not my biggest thing. That was at all. Like, I'm more about the kid shit, the trans stuff and all that. And obviously Epstein, we're gonna get into that. I understand the importance of some of the stuff though. I didn't understand it at first. And then I find out that the Venezuela thing, and I find out that fucking I found out that Biden had I forgot, like, they had a $25 million bounty on his head. Like, so the Democrats talk shit about that as a complete fucking joke, because he did what your side wanted to do for so long. They just talk shit and just never actually did it, and Trump actually did it. So y'all should be happy. And as for the people on the right, you say, well, it could have started a new, like, it's going to start a new war. We said no new wars. It didn't start a new war. But now it's like, well, it could have, but it didn't. So maybe he just knew what he was doing. And at first, I didn't want to agree with that. But I'm like, you know what? If it didn't start a new war and it ended up being, good for the people there. Come on. No. Good for the people there or whatever, then whatever. I don't fucking care. I'm America first. Yes. And I believe that although he's doing a lot of good things around the world, he should focus a lot more on domestic shit. He's doing both, but I feel like he should focus more on domestic stuff. I do agree with becoming strong to the rest of the world too. And the Maduro stuff, it stepped on Russia and China's feet. The Greenland move that he did stepped on Russia and China's feet, toes, whatever you fucking say. So the people that are like, oh, he's a Russian agent and this and that, he is making strategic moves to fuck over those people who we either are secretly at war with, or have you've been praying for our downfall, like China with the fentanyl and all these things. He's stopping the flow. He's doing the best he can to stop the flow of fentanyl. FBI has seized a lot of things. I know the FBI with Kash Patel with the whole Epstein thing, they completely failed with that. Well, I can't say completely failed with them. We'll get to that. But they are doing good things, even in Kensington, Philadelphia, right here in my state. They shut down Kensington. Like they got shut. They caused so many drugs and fentanyl. Like, they are doing the things that the FBI used to do, and now like that's good shit. Sure, it's not absolutely everything that we want. Like we don't want Cash Patel to say that there's no videos of Epstein clients or there is no client list or whatever. Sure, because we know that that's bullshit and that's absolute nonsense that he said that. It doesn't mean I'm going to completely forget or shut down everything else that's been done. So as critical as I am about that stuff, I also can agree that like there's good things happening. And I feel like there's too many people that aren't agreeing with who are just ignoring the fact that they're doing these other things because Cash said this, Cash said that. I get it, dude. I fucking get it. But they are actually catching a lot of fucking and shutting down a lot of sex trafficking rings with children. They're finding a lot of children. They're seizing a lot of drugs and stopping a lot of drugs that are killing people. How can we ignore that? You guys are just ignoring shit because it's like the cool thing to say fuck everybody and fuck everything now. And I get it. Both sides can suck. But they are doing a lot of good things. And Trump is still winning on a lot of things and still doing a lot of things that he did promise. The border is completely shut down right now. Completely. Like, that is amazing. Okay, that's a hell of a good start. Aside from, acquiring certain areas in Greenland and capturing Maduro. Like if this was a couple years ago, all these like Groyper / I hate everything libertarian right guys would have been like, yeah, America's back. That's so badass that he was in and out of there in 6 minutes. No soldiers died. But like the people that are like, I'm not dying for Israel, man. Look, we're not dying anywhere. Okay. American soldiers aren't dying. We're not at war anywhere. Nobody's dying on our side right now. Okay. Like I don't understand that mentality. Nobody died during that. And there's no new war started because of that. So shut the fuck up already. Like, I'm so tired of hearing you guys complain about every little fucking thing and trying to call out MAGA now because that's like the cool thing to do on your group, on your side. Like, you are still in a group, dude. Like, you're not any better than anybody else right now because you just find the wrong in absolutely everything. By the way, Groypers, okay? Although I can agree with a lot of things Nick Fuentes says, and I think he's entertaining as shit, but your fucking leader, Nick Fuentes, the fucking Virgin Mary, dude, the fucking virgin over there, like, the guy, he talks about like family and conservatism and being like this and that, and like, dude, he literally is a virgin, and he sits out there telling like it's gay to fuck with women, like it's a waste of time, or like this, so that's the guy that like is running your squad, whether you call yourself a Groyper or not. Like, that's the side that you're on. Everything's Israel, and there's a problem with fucking everything. Even though I have to say, Nick Fuentes lately has been on the side of a few things. He thinks the ICE thing is okay, but he it's just like that it's the new mentality. You just got to go against fucking everything, even if it's good, right? Even if something good has happened, you got to say, well, it didn't go to this extent. It's like, okay, dude, you're getting stuff though, and it's something that we can work with, and we can get the next guy can do the rest, or we're on a track of moving in a different direction, and we're starting to see a lot of shit, just like the Epstein files, right? So I hated how they handled the Epstein files. Bondi, Cash, obviously they were lying. Bongino, they're very disappointed in Bongino. He's back. I've listened to his explanation. Like, I get it. So I'm mad and annoyed, but at the same time, I can appreciate, like, even when they're not saying anything, they're saying something, right? Like, so clearly it's way bigger than we thought. And the Epstein stuff, like, now we can see it, and you're seeing the stuff from Epstein. So the people complaining that this and that, and I agree, there should be no names redacted, especially when it comes out like the email where they're talking about a 9-year-old girl. So this whole idea that they're like fucking with teenagers and shit. Oh, they were young, but they weren't like big. They were like just 15, 16. Like, yeah, sure, it's still bad, but it's not that. Like, people saying that are fucking crazy. And Nick Fuentes said that, by the way. And I know Mike Benz was just on Joe Rogan, and like, it's like, well, it was much bigger than the pedophile ring. He was involved with world leaders and this and that. And I understand how important that is, but I feel like, well, one, that wasn't accomplished, whatever he was trying to do. There's so much to look through. I've looked through some of it, and I see a lot of pages that are dedicated to just sharing stuff that they're finding. I've seen a lot of shit. I still put the pedophile shit way above everything else that he was involved in. I don't care if he was involved with world leaders and his massive plan was to do this and that. I know he's involved in some things, like apparently he was involved in the trans stuff. Apparently, like all a major problem, and that's still very, very high up on the fucking radar. But the fact that there was people talking about 9-year-olds, they're talking about like even like eating kids, and I know some of the claims are nonsense, but just going off the emails, which are like actually emails, whether it's trolling or not, I think the emails are more concerning. The clips and videos are very concerning. The claims from FBI calls or whatever, absolute nonsense. Like the stuff against Trump, the left to try to blow it up or whatever. Like the absurd things, like and even some people on the left that I don't like, I agree that some of the stuff was a complete lie. The tip line, none of that was verified. It's all nonsense. It's all old shit with Trump, and obviously he's the it's his DOJ that released it. So like, and you hear him talking about it. He's clearly not hiding anything when it comes to that. I mean, I know that like he should definitely be like, guys, unredacted names, release everything. I agree that that's still a failure, but I also have to see the good in what has happened so far. The reason why we are so confident that there is stuff going on and why now we have more stuff that we want to look into is because his DOJ release is because of Trump. You still have to give him at least that much. We wouldn't be seeing this if it wasn't for him. There was no other president talking about this shit. No other person trying to release it besides, say like Thomas Massey, which I like Thomas Massey, guys. I do like Thomas Massey. But if he was president, would he be as good at the geopolitical stuff? No, I don't think so. I think that he has the right head on his shoulders and all those things, but I think Trump will destroys him when it comes down to the geopolitics stuff. So no, I don't think Thomas Massey would be the best president. I think he would be best for like, America and like for like our views and how we feel about things, like sure. But when it comes down to like you have to still be on the world stages in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if he would be able to do that. And he's not as aggressive as enough to deal with some of these world leaders like Trump is. These other world leaders, I mean, these countries, they're so they don't care. They're ruthless. You can't always be like cookie cutter shit. And I love Thomas Massey, but it's kind of cookie cutter. We can't bomb boats, even if we do know if it's fentanyl and on the boat, and we can't do like sometimes. Yes, you have to be strong because then now the cartel is shut down or people don't have the balls to try to do that anymore. It's like fuck, Trump's gonna blow us up. Sometimes you got to be that aggressive. So I agree with all that. But the whole like hate and everything, it's just such nonsense. So the MC files, like I said, I agree that nothing should be redacted. I get why girls' faces are covered, but like in this whole idea that teenager shit, back to that, there's tons and tons of content proving that is way, way below the 15, 16 age range. The email specifically says a 9-year-old girl. Some of these pictures are very, very young girls, even below 9. Okay, they're even talking about babies in some of the emails. Whether there's some sick joking around or not, I don't know. So like, I'll even go like I could be into conspiracies all day. And I know, like you hear about people who have dealt with sex trafficking and stuff. Like the guy that was the story of that one movie. Fuck, I forget what it's called. The dude that was I'm drawing a fucking blank, but the guy that does. He's actually the agent from that film. Fuck, what was it? I forget. I'm talking about, a sex trafficking movie. He's the real life guy. Like he said, like, yeah, some areas in some countries like they do actually like, eat kids and shit and torture and yeah, like that happens, right? So the mentioning eating and stuff in the Epstein files, I do like I can entertain it. You know what I mean? Yeah, some of it sounds pretty far-fetched, but I'll entertain it. But like some of the tips and stuff, like they're talking about like Bush like eating babies and like they're talking about like eating the shit out of the intestines. Like that's too far. Like even for like the far shit, that's too far, right? Eating an intestine, I'll even entertain it, right? But eating the shit out of an intestine, like you just took it a step too fucking far now. Okay, that's too far. So there is a lot of fluff in there. But there's also a lot of very serious conversations. It's very weird. There's a lot of people talking to Epstein about pizza and like basically the whole Pizzagate things and reference and talking. Not even some of the emails don't even mention these code names. It's literally just like kids, babies, or that little one was cute. The youngest one was very naughty. There's very clear major issues there. You got somebody saying, I like the torture video from Epstein. It's like, that name should not be redacted. We need to know that. Like, so torture video. So you're talking about actual torture on film. They shouldn't walk free, and Trump shouldn't be saying move on from that. We're not. There's no new arrests. We got to move on from Epstein. Mark Levine says move on from Epstein. No, fuck that. Okay, you can't move on, especially now. But this is our job now. Okay, the people that are looking at this shit, and I fucking hate these guys, the Krasensteins. I hate those little faggots. I hate them with a passion. But I do like some of the things I've been seeing him do. The one brother, one of the fags, he's posting clips, right, that are in the Epstein files, and like if he sees a face there, it's unredacted, he'll freeze it on there, or he'll zoom in if it's the background, and he'll say, if anybody recognizes this man, send me the name, or let's find out who it is and put it out there. That's what we need to do now. Okay, Trump has given us the trail. Right. And we just got to follow it. Okay. I'm not saying that was his whole plan. Like, that's his plan, guys. So, I'm not like, I'm not that MAGA to where I'm going to like look at everything it does as godlike. But I also have to see the good in it. Like, this is very good that we get all these files to look through. And there's so many that we haven't even seen them all yet. And it's proving it is just as sick as some of the craziest conspiracy theorists thought. And I'm not even talking about the wild tips. Just the pictures and his actual emails alone proves that there was a huge pedophile ring, extremely sick, doing extremely sick things to young children. Not just the 15, 16-year-olds like fucking Megyn Kelly said, or Nick Fuentes said, or whoever else is fucking trying to be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. No, you're fucking sick. Okay, I have a fucking 16-year-old. I have younger kids. Fuck you. Okay, not to mention they are talking about babies. There is reference to literal fucking 9-year-olds. It's sick. Okay, I do believe that some people, there's some kids that were never found or missing. Maybe they're from other countries, so there's not like anybody really looking for them. I mean, it is sick stuff. Just in the videos and pictures alone, which is more proof than you fucking need. Okay, it's not some fucking trolling email. It's not some wild tip. Just in the pictures alone is very clear, very young girls. I don't believe Epstein has any kids. So who are these kids? What happened to these kids? And then some of it's like, oh, well, maybe it's like his niece, or maybe he's just saying, sure. Okay, but there's other pictures where it looks very inappropriate. Either the girl's dressed inappropriate, or he's like, in a weird, being inappropriate with them, or they're like half nude. Like, it's like there is enough to say that is 100% true. That there's some kind of sick pedophile ring with leaders and elites, and there's no way to talk that down. There's no way we should ever forget that. Like, we have to attack that. Okay, and I have to say the one good thing about Trump. Well, another good thing about Trump. I'm not going to just talk and shit on the guy, but I will when it comes down to it. If need be, when people push back against him, he'll change his mind on shit because he cares about how we feel, especially people who supported him. I don't like how he's recently coming out talking about like we should kind of leave Bill Clinton alone, even though like Bill Clinton, God, didn't even want to testify in Congress or whatever, and now they're like walking it back because they realize how bad that looked. Which, by the way, the left constantly talking about Trump and the Epstein files, but are completely ignoring Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and all this shit. Only the right's talking about those. Like, talk about everybody, right? Like, if you really just talk about everybody, okay? We know Bill Clinton went to the fucking island. We know that. That was the flight logs that came out fucking years ago. We know he went there way too many times to not be involved or not know something. He has pictures with younger girls, pictures with some of the victims. Like, we know that. Democrats aren't saying shit about that fucking guy. And Trump's the one that released it. Obviously, he kept his name in the fucking files. Like, yeah, like some of the claims were deleted, but they're already shared everywhere. He knows that. He's on the internet enough. His son's on the internet enough. They know that the shit's still out there. He's not worried. If you see when he gets questioned about it, he does not look concerned at all. And he's not known to be an A-list actor. Like, he's definitely not worried about the Epstein files involving him. It's very obvious. And he's right. If there really was these wild claims, if they were true about what he did, and first off, there's no proof he ever went to the island. But secondly, if that was true, Why would there be emails of Epstein talking to other people about trying to set Trump up or trying to find something on Trump? If they had that on Trump, they would have that on Trump. You don't have to. You wouldn't. There's no more conversation about finding stuff on Trump if you have actual proof of him abusing kids. Like what? And this is, but the left doesn't make sense. Again, they don't make sense. They'll completely ignore all that just to go right back to the wild tip claims that are completely untrue. And then also like the left or not, no, the right Groyper guys, like the guys at Doomsday that like Bongino says, the guys that literally, and he's right. It's just like everything is so it doesn't matter if you get this, you get that. They're gonna go to the next thing that they didn't get. Like fuck you, stop being fucking little pussies and little bitches, and oh, I need absolutely everything or this. Like I get what you're saying, but at the same time, bro, like you're looking at 3 million Epstein files because of Trump. Okay. So here's the thing with that. Like, so these guys, even some of them shared this up. See, I told you all MAGA. Now what you gonna say? Like, even though this guy did support him before, and something. No, back up. Don't touch that. No. So they'll immediately they're pulling the left card. So what do you got to say now, MAGA or the MAGA cultist or if people don't get arrested? This okay, dude. Listen, you're the same people that'll go down some kind of fucking story and family tree timeline shit just to bring it back to a Jew. They got them shoes from this shop, and then that shop's owned by this, and then you know that the material came from this, and you know who owns that one? A Jew. It's like, okay, like all these people that like they break their fucking backs to go down in history to bring something back to the Mossad or Israel. They're the same people that as soon as they had the files, day one, they're posting about how Trump was in it. Oh yeah, see MAGA. This is like, what happened to the whole like research thing that you guys do and to bring it all back to some one major source? Now all of a sudden you're taking things at face value and you're not looking any deeper because you just have to hate everything. You people are fucking annoying. And I'm talking about, you're like, these are the right. These are people that were on my side or still on my side or used to be on my side, whatever. Like, you're just as corny as the left now. Like, you might as well get the blue hair and what is that, the lapel or whatever, the fucking rings, face piercing. You might as well do that now because you're just as fucking gay. Okay. And I love this guy. I agree with him a lot most of the time, but like Ian Smith, the guy, the gym owner in New Jersey, I've had a conversation with him on the podcast. It didn't work out because the audio got fucked up in the very beginning of my podcast. I had a whole conversation with him. I talked in person at his gym before. I still do like a lot of the things that he says, and I get the whole like I'm a badass guy, you know what I mean? But he's one of the top like just has to always talk shit about everything now. And he even to the point where like I've commented on some things because I understand the criticism of Israel. I get it. There's definitely a lot of things you can tie back to Israel, but it's not the end all be all. Okay. Like there is also an issue to be worried. We should also worry about Islam. There is things to worry about there. And like he has the audacity to call it said like Trump would stop with the Islamic phobia and realize that Israel's like the problem. It was something like that he posted. He literally said Trump was Islamophobic. Calling somebody Islamophobic is just as gay as calling somebody anti-Semitic. Like that is just as gay, dude. Like you guys, like all of a sudden you got these Groyper crowds sticking up for Islam. Like they don't scream death to America or haven't, killed Americans, or they wouldn't cut your fucking head off the first fucking opportunity. And sure, not every Muslim or everybody who supports Islam is like that, but not every Jew is like that either. You know, not every Jew supports Netanyahu. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. It's so weird how we're just standing up for fucking, which by the way, Islam, like if you go to like Afghanistan, talk to some of your veteran friends, guys, they fuck boys, like little boys. So like you're talking shit about Israel and you know how they're protecting pedophiles and this and that, but yet you'll literally stand up for the Muslims in Islam as if their whole culture doesn't allow pedophilia. They just don't call it pedophilia because they allow it. It's normal for a dude to marry a fucking 9-year-old girl over there. Like, You guys are so fucking ridiculous, and you're so blinded by this Israel shit. I'm so tired of hearing about Israel. Like, if there ever is a serious thing with Israel again, people aren't going to care anymore because they're so tired of hearing about it. Like, you're overdoing it now. And they're just hating absolutely fucking everything. Listen, Trump is the closest thing we're going to get to a libertarian, conservative president. He's doing a lot of good things that you guys just you want to ignore because it's not because there's something else you didn't get from him that you want. And I agree, the Epstein stuff is the biggest issue because he clearly he could get these names redacted and he chooses not to. Or maybe they're not even giving him all they I don't want to say this confidently, but it seems like when he talks about it, that he really does not know the extent of what's in the stuff. And I know he's a busy man, so I'm sure he didn't read through 3 million files, but somebody on the DOJ, Barron, fucking Don Jr., they're online a lot. They really need to go to him and be like, Dad, people are sharing emails and some of these files, and it's bad, dude. Like, we really do need to see what's going on there. That's what needs to fucking happen. Because I don't necessarily blame Trump for not absolutely everything being released, or because when you can tell, like I said, he's not some fucking extraordinary actor. You could tell that it seems like he really doesn't know himself how deep some of this shit goes. Either that or he doesn't think it's real or something. I don't know. But I have to give him credit for even us being able to see all these files. I have to also give him credit for leaving his name in there. I know some of it got redacted, but his name's still in there like fucking 5,000 times. And he could easily get his name redacted or taken out. And he hasn't. He's not afraid to talk about it. But you know, he gets into this when he's asked about it too much, like we should move on. And I think that's absolutely insane and fuck that. But aside from that, which I know that is my biggest thing too. I also he's not my best friend. He's not someone that I'm going to feel disrespected by. So I got to take the things that he's done good and also address that too, and understand that he's still one of the best presidents I've ever had, and we've ever had in our lifetime. You know, his nonsense of talking, the way he talks sometimes, like I said before, I get it. I understand what people are saying when it comes to that, especially the fucking pussies and man bun dudes. But for me personally, it doesn't bother me. I feel like JD Vance will be the guy that he talks better. He's better when it comes down to things like that. But again, like I know the economy is not great, but gas is going down, which will lead to, you know, materials being transported. Eventually, the prices start coming down because the gas is cheaper. So they don't have to spend much on gas. It does trickle down into other things. I know food is still high. The stock market is blowing up, but you know, when they say things like that, they're talking about the bigger companies because, you know, the Dow Jones is up this much. But if you're just a simple, like, you know, like a small investor, the smaller companies aren't moving as much. So yeah, it's good, but it's good for the people who've already had money. So I understand why people are tired of hearing stuff like that when he's talking up the economy, and we're still not really seeing it that much. But there's a lot of good things that he's done, and I'm so tired of hearing all the negative shit. And the Epstein files, man. I mean, talking about kids like and how they taste, and I don't know if that's trolling or not, but there's definitely some things that are 100% not trolling in those files. And between the pictures and that, we got to tear this shit down. Which, by the way, it is kind of tearing shit down. You know, you have people in high positions resigning or leaving their positions because their names in the files, which kind of just proves that they're guilty of the things that's in the files. So things are kind of imploding a little bit because of that. And it's because of Trump. Like, we have to give him the credit there. And like I said, like the right guys who are against absolutely everything now, you know, like you're so cool and you're so badass and fuck everything. The only reason you even feel like that these days is because of Trump. Trump he changed everything. That's why you realize the news has been lying to you all this time. That's why the only reason you realize that both sides are shit is because of Trump. Like, think about it. Go all the way back to when you first started having these feelings. It all started because of Trump. He created you fucking little bitches. who are now complaining about everything. I want him to be more perfect, but I have to understand that he's just some fucking rich business guy. I feel like he's doing damn well good compared to any other president I've seen. I'm actually seeing I'm seeing 3 million Epstein files because of him. I'm seeing Meta not take shit down. I know they still are. I'm sure some people are still dealing with bullshit, but look at this. I follow so many pages now on Instagram that are sharing Epstein files and shit of Bill Clinton and stuff that's not getting taken down. You know why that is? Because of fucking Trump. He changed everything. You know why Elon owns Twitter now? Because of fucking Trump. He realized, like, holy shit, these people are lying. What the fuck? They're all plotting against him. So the reason why you're seeing all this new information that's making you think, I gotta hate everything now, is because of Trump. Like, I'm not trying to suck the guy's dick or anything, but goddamn it, guys. Like, you fucks are causing such a problem on the right. I understand, question everything, and be like, fuck, man, he needs to release these files. I'm really fucking disappointed in him. What the fuck, man? This is crazy. Like, you can't just let this go. I get it. Well, then start taking action. Look through the fucking files. As soon as you fucking see something, you drill it in the fucking head. Trump, redact this fucking name. Tag Barron. Tag fucking Don Jr. Tag fucking Eric Trump. Tag everybody. And be like, talk to your fucking dad. What the fuck is this shit? Do what the Krasenstein's doing. Share the videos, zoom in on faces, pause it, fucking high definition that shit, and be like, who is this guy? Let's find out who he is. All you faggots who trace down ICE agents all the goddamn time, as soon as you see their fucking nose sticking out of their mask, oh, that's Jonathan Ross. Do that with the Epstein files. We can all come together on that, right? I'm with it, man. And this whole thing with the Trump thing, he's sharing that video, and it was like Obama and Michelle, Barack and Michelle as apes or whatever. That was from a longer video. It was like a AI video of like the Lion King, and there was like Kamala Harris was like on a different animal. She wasn't on an ape. Like, it was just all of them got put on different animals. The heads got put on different animals, and Trump was like the lion. He's the Lion King, whatever. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was bad taste to share just that part in that video he posted, but it was taken down. And honestly, I do believe that Trump makes a lot of posts himself. I honestly don't think that, even if he did see, he says he didn't, I don't know. But even if he did, I honestly don't think that he was thinking that, because he knew where the video came from. And I'm sure that he's not thinking racism. Yeah, let me further damage myself with the black community because they already think I'm racist. Which we all know, which people who pay attention at all over the years knows that he's actually not racist. But this is just something that they can do, right? But it's just another one of those things where you're only getting half the story, okay? That's all for me today. PA, our governor is trying to be president so bad. This piece of shit, murder, the homicide rate's down all over the country. If it was Biden, we'd say thanks to Biden, but because it's Trump, it's being ignored, right? I truly believe that's because of Trump. I mean, he stopped murders in Washington, D.C. when he took the National Guard in there. I think people are more afraid to commit crimes. I think there's more people that are realizing that we don't want it to be lawlessness all across the country. I think that's directly due to him being president. But our governor, Philly's still crazy. There's still wild shit happening, just like there is in Chicago and stuff. The fentanyl, I mean, there's still people fucking slumped over, people like dying on the streets, overdosing. And he decides to talk about like Trump and abortion still every goddamn day. I mean, let's be realistic, man. The one good thing that I've seen about him is he's talking up the state police and stuff. He was never too against law enforcement, but yet he's speaking out against ICE now. Yeah, but it's just like he's just one of those governors that just wastes more time talking about Trump than actually taking care of his state. And I fucking hate it. And so people look at him like he's a moderate. He's just as left as the leftist one out there. He's not moderate. So it's hard to hear that Josh Shapiro is a fucking moderate. And that's going to probably get him into a nomination for fucking or to become a candidate for president. But he wants to be president so bad, you can tell. Because he goes on and talks about things that doesn't matter to his state or really to him, but he's on the news talking about it because he wants to get his voice out there and get his opinions out there. So people are like, oh, I mean, he could be the next Democrat president. I'm more leaning with Fetterman, man. I like Fetterman now. I'm not going to lie. he's still left, and there's still things I definitely wouldn't agree with. He's never taken a strong stance on the trans shit. I think he agrees that men should be in women's bathrooms, but he's also maybe not. I don't actually. I think he actually said the opposite. But there's a lot of good takes from him now. But look what the Democrats do. They're trying to kick him out. The Democrats don't fuck with him now because he makes some sense. See, like I'm so tired of this shit, and the right now, look, Roy crowd, you're just like them. You're corny. But anyway, I'm out of here. Fuck all of you. I love all of you. I don't know anymore. Let's figure this out together. But I'm back, baby.